how do you get people to buy from you even with a small audience? This is my area because, like I very proudly say all the time, I got my first client, customer, whatever you want to call it, after about 200 and something subscribers. And to be honest with you, like I always say, it would not have taken that long if I knew what I was doing sooner. So the reason I had to wait until 200 and something subscribers to get my first client was because I had no idea what I was doing. So I'm going to save you all that time, energy, and mental stress, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do starting out from scratch. To, let's say, God called you to start a business, and you just need you need to get the ball rolling. You need clients, you need customers, and you have no idea where to begin. As your execution coach, not only will I help with strategy, I'm going to help you with the most easiest strategies. Is that grammar correct? With the most easiest? Okay, with the easiest strategies that I personally used and still use and see results in order to see results. Okay. Let's jump in. All right. If you're just starting out in that business, the first thing I would say before I start telling you the strategies on how to get people to buy from you, the very first most important thing is to ensure that you have, like, the offer that you're offering is in line with what God wants you to do. So make sure that you're clear on your niche. All these things are just like the foundational work, because that way when you actually do what I'm about to tell you to do, it's going to be like easy. Do you understand? It's people find it difficult because the foundational background work, they've not done that. So because they've not done the background work, every other thing just feels like so difficult. So make sure you're very clear on your niche. Make sure it is a niche that God has called you into. Make sure that you're not struggling with like consistent posting. Always ensure that you're posting consistently on the platform that God has called you to. Now that you've had that foundation, you're posting consistently, and you have, you're in the right niche, you're in the niche that God has called you into. Those two things are the foundations. Once you have that, the very first thing you need to do to get people to buy from you, especially when you have a small audience, is to make sure that you are leveraging trust. I know that with any audience size, you need trust, right? But it's even more imperative for you as, someone with a small audience, because when people have like a larger audience size, people tend to trust them simply by their numbers. Think about it. When you see somebody with like a million followers, instantly you think, oh my God, this person must be a big shot. This person must be a big deal. This person must be earning a lot. It's called the halo effect. So you assume this thing of this person simply because of this area that they seem to, that that they seem to maybe be doing well or whatever. But your biases is just based on something that may not even mean what you want it to mean or what you think it means. So yeah, that is the foundation of, starting a of all these things, like just to make sure that if you're someone with a small audience size, that you capitalize on trust, because now you don't have those big numbers for someone to look at it and go, hey, I think I should trust them. They must be doing something right for them to have these big numbers. Now you have to actually have something else that people need to look at, you understand, for them to take that step with you. So yeah, we've dealt with the foundation. We've also talked about the importance of trust. So now the question is, how do you then build trust? That is the $1,000,000 question. Now that I know that this is what I'm meant to have and leverage and capitalize on, how do you then build this trust? There are two major ways that you can actually build trust. And maybe I may add a bonus one. Who knows? Let's see how it goes. The first most important way to build trust is to give out stuff for free. Give out stuff for free. Think about it. When, let's say, you go to buy something from a restaurant and maybe they give you like a tester, you're likely to buy from them, especially if you taste that tester and it tastes nice. If they give you, like, let's say, a nice, starter tray, and it's like on the house, and they're like, oh, just taste it. And then you taste it and it's delicious. Guess what? You're going to drop your money and buy from them. Okay, so let's just establish the fact that with that foundation there, it's going to be very, 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 very easy for you to, for them to get you to purchase. So make sure that you're giving something away free, and not just something away free, something that when people get the opportunity to experience that thing, they're going to find it valuable. Okay, if people find it valuable, chances are if you then offer something paid, they're going to want to take that step because they trust you now. They know that you're the kind of person that delivers quality, excellence, and you've also given them something, so now they feel obligated to give you something in return. So typically, like human beings, you know most people, let me not say everyone, but just like psychology, when people do something for you for free, you feel indebted to them, like, oh, I sort of have to do something for free back, right? So you're basically leveraging that psychological law to ensure that these people are, to ensure that, like, you're not, people are feel that indebtedness, so that you'll be able to also eventually land them as a client. So we've spoken about two things. First of all, rather, we've spoken about just one thing. So we've spoken about giving something away for free, and we said that there are two reasons why it works. The reason it works, first of all, is because it builds trust, in the sense that, if it's actually good, people want more of it. But then secondly, there's also that psychological law that makes people want to basically return back your goodness. They want to sort of make sure that they are not owing you, or they don't feel indebted to you. So those are the two reasons why that first strategy works. Now, the second thing you need to do if you're just starting out and you need to get people to buy from you, you don't have a massive audience, is to take advantage of what you already have. The biggest mistakes people have, business owners have, when God calls you to start that business and you're trying to, make progress, the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make is they ignore their warm audience. They feel like their clients are supposed to be like strangers. No, if you're not going to invest in people like trusting you, from like consistently putting out content, giving out free stuff, and making sure people have a very good experience with your free stuff, and if you're not doing that, you have to ensure that you are doing the second thing, which is reaching out to people that already trust you. And to be honest, even if you're already doing that, even if you're already putting out free content, you should still, do the other one, right? Because at the end of the day, like, the currency is trust, like we already established. So since the currency is trust, there are some people in your life that already trust you. Now you can give people away stuff for free and they still won't trust you, or they still will need time to build that trust. But there are people in your life that you already know, that already like you, that already trust you, and that need what you have to offer. And a lot of people overlook them. They overlook the people in their lives because they just feel, that's my friend, that's my brother. And please, I just need to leave a disclaimer here. This does not mean that just because this person is your friend, they have to buy from you. No, they're not obligated to buy from you. But if they need what you have, why shouldn't you make that offer to them? Think about it. Why would you know that somebody you care about, or someone that you know at the very least, why would you know that they need this thing? And sorry guys, sorry about that. But yeah, why would you know that they need this thing and not even at the very least offer it to them? Think about it. If you knew that someone knew that you needed something and they never offered it to you, don't you think that you would feel sad? Like, oh my God, I've been struggling with this thing, and you had the solution and you did not even think of offering it to me. So then, if you would expect people to offer you solutions, why wouldn't you do the same to people around you? Just because they're familiar? And some people are just shy. They're like, I don't want people around me to, you know, think that I'm trying to sell them something. No, you're trying to offer them a solution. And if they say, no, I don't want to pay for this, then fine. That's all right. That is perfectly fine. But also, they might come up and say, do you know what? I want to, buy from you. Like, what I mean is, like, there is no losses. You don't lose by being bold about the things that God has placed in your hands, by being bold about your solution. You don't lose. Like, there is really nothing to lose. They either say yes or say no. If they say yes, good for them and good for you. If they say no, that's still all right, because number one, they could also refer you to other people, but that no doesn't mean a permanent no. Sometimes in the future it might turn into a yes. And to be honest, if it's a permanent no, then that's still all right. Like, that's not the end of the world. At least you took that step of faith and that boldness, and you made that offer to them. All right. So yeah, very, very, very important. When it comes to building that trust, make sure that you leverage the resources around you. God is proactive, like I always say. So what that basically means is, if he's telling you to start a business, it means he has already put your clients around you. You don't need to go far to get your clients, okay? You don't need to go to some crazy lengths to get them. Start with the people that he's opening your eyes to see around you, okay? Start with that, because sometimes you're overlooking the answer to your prayers simply because it does not it seems familiar. So yes, if God truly is proactive, then the moment he told you to start that business, your clients are already around you. They're already in your circle. They're already, you probably even already have already spoken to them. That trust has probably even already been built. So now it's just a continuation of, what you guys had already previously started. All right. So I promised you a bonus one. I didn't promise, but I was like, maybe I'll give you guys a bonus one. But yeah, for staying till this point, I'll give you a bonus point. When it comes to getting people to buy from you, if you have a small audience, one of the most important things that you can do is start with a very low price, right? And this does not mean you should not like charge high, but basically you want to make sure that you have reviews. Like, that's the main and ultimate goal, that you have reviews. If you do not have reviews, people already like screaming from the rooftops about how good you are with that product or service, then you need the reviews. And in order to get the reviews, I'm not going to say work for free, which you can do and you could do, but I would say that at the very least, work for a discounted amount, a significantly discounted amount, for the sake of those reviews. Because once you have those reviews, guess what? It is going to now build the confidence in other people that you can get the job done. To a very large extent, there's a point you'll get to in your business where you wouldn't even be the one marketing your products. The people that you've already, helped in the past. Sorry, guys. Anyway, the people that you've already helped in the past, they will be the one marketing your products or your services for you. But let's say like you're just starting out, you have a small audience, and you've done the past two things that I've spoken about. You've put out free content, you've offered free valuable stuff. You've also reached out to your warm audience, or reached out to people you already know that need your stuff. But then the final thing would be to make sure that if you do not already have reviews, or people already screaming your name from the rooftops, then make sure that you offer that service for a discounted amount. So when you've gotten to the point where people are ready to pay, make sure that it's an amount that um, is discounted, in the sense that you have to think of the fact that these people are going to be your marketers in the future. These are the people that will tell other people, oh my God, this baby is good, this guy is good, right? And word of mouth is the most valuable form of income in a business. If everybody is talking about how good you are, you wouldn't need to talk about how good you are. Okay. So if you do not already have reviews that you can put out there for people to see that what you're doing is good, then make sure that at least the first set of people that are giving you that are working with you, that there is a discounted amount in exchange for the reviews that you're going to give you. And not just like a discounted amount, for the reviews, but also think of the fact that you're using these people to also learn and develop yourself and your offer or your service. So you have to ensure that, you know they are being rewarded for that trust that they are also extending towards you. Because I mean, if you've not worked with people in the past and you don't have a ton of reviews, then that trust that they're extending to you, by working with you, should be rewarded. So yeah, that is a very, very important point that I needed to mention. When it comes to, getting people to buy from you, make sure that you have reviews, and people screaming your name from the rooftops. And if you don't have, make sure that the first set of people, you're working with them for a very discounted amount. People call them founders. You're working with them for a very discounted amount, so that you can reward them for taking that step of faith with you. But not just that, so that you can also, um ensure that, based on what the outcome is, they don't end up over investing. Does that make sense? Because then you come off as a scam, right? So yeah, that's just the three most important things I would say, you should take into consideration when you're building, or when you're trying to build trust with a small audience. It will go a long way. And at the most important, center of it all, make sure that you're keeping God, front row in the whole process. Make sure that you're praying. You make sure that you're, ensuring that your offer is in line with the will of God. Just ensure that you're carrying God every step of the way, that you're listening to Him. Because, when it's time to pivot, He's going to tell you the platform to market on. He's going to tell you when it's time to stop. He's just going to guide you. It's going to eliminate, difficulty, when you're keeping God at the front and center of it all. God is going to help, by listening to Him. It's going to make the business easy, feel easy. You're going to enjoy divine precision. And it's also going to eliminate a lot of trial and errors, right? So that would mean like speed in your business. So if typically like people take 10 years to grow, you'd find out that you're growing in like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, that's not really practical. 3 weeks is small, but like you get my point. Just like a shorter period of time compared to most people. So yeah, I've come on here, I've told you guys, these are giving you guys these valuable nuggets. I hope that you take this into your God-led businesses, and I know that when you do so, you're going to soar. You're going to see so much progress. I'm rooting for you. And like I've been saying, I have a prayer challenge. It is called the Reset Fast Prayer Challenge. So if you want to grow with God, you want to start your business with God, you need clarity, join the prayer challenge. It is absolutely free. The link is going to be in the description box below, and in the pinned comments below. Last but not least, please subscribe, and follow for more content like this. If you're not yet subscribed, you can leave a comment as well. Um, and yeah, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Benny. I am a kingdom execution coach. I basically help Christians like yourself grow, start their God-given businesses, their God-led businesses, or God-given business ideas. Their execute your, your ministry assignments, execute your projects, whatever the case may be. I'm the person to help with that. So yeah, if you're interested in working with me, kindly check out all the links all over my pages, in my about you section, my bio. And yeah, I'll be happy to work with you. I'll be happy to hold your hand through this execution process. So yeah, I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see you win. That being said, see you next week on another episode of the Grace Work podcast. Take care and